When I popped off, then your girl gave me just a little bit of la chop. Baby, so cold, he from the north, he from the Canada. Bankroll so low.
Hey, what's going on, ladies and deviants? I'm back with another video, and it is back with Lounge Nintendo, who was not in my last video. I was about to say in my last video, but that video did not end up going up.
Hello, people.
Let's get into the video.
This is Janessa, and my mom is cheating on my dad with my other dad. Okay, so let me explain, because I need to
What? That's visible confusion? I don't know what to say here. Usually there's something to make fun of. It's
rewind a little. I was kind of an accident. My parents were teenagers when they had me, and as a
same here. Just two accidents, One's watching the video, one's making it.
result, they weren't really prepared to raise me. Like most people in my situation, it was my grandparents who came to the rescue. They would buy the majority of my diapers, help my parents pay bills, and so on. My parents still try to do their best despite all of this. That includes trying to stay together. They hung on until I was about 13. That was 5 years ago.
I'm just gonna say this now. If a relationship's not working, don't try and fix it for the kids. It just ends up making it worse, and it's harder once you get older. Just don't. Just, if it's not working, break it off instantly.
Yeah. They finally broke up over a lot of differences. They were two entirely different people, and honestly, I have no idea how they made it work as long as they did. They were never a match to begin with. And when they broke up, I wasn't really sad. I was looking forward to the end of an era of bickering, fighting, tension, and so on. It was long overdue. And after they split, my mom started dating again. Mom would bring home a new guy every couple of months, it seems. I guess she was on one of those online dating sites. But eventually, she settled down with a guy named Skinner. Skinner was rich.
Skinner? Whoa, that's a weird name. That is like one of those old professions, except it's like an executioner, but way worse.
Oh no.
Alright, boy, come here. You murdered 2 people. Can't even prove you did it. Get skinned alive. What's up, demonetization? How are you been?
He was a little bit older than her, a retired doctor, and I guess his parents were both lawyers. And over the years, he'd saved up a lot of money and invested in stocks. Those stocks did really well, and so he was set. And so was Mom. And so was I, as he really liked buying me things. Buying a person things is...
I'm not too sure if this is a brag, but also, why are these drawn so poorly? Like, that's just something. Why are all these animations just drawn so shittily? Like, it looks like a 3-year-old with is it Parkinson's or something that makes your hand shake or what? I'm sorry, but it looks like a 3-year-old with that was like, okay, got it, draw a girl. Like, at least they colored in the lines.
Is a very unique way to develop a bond. But I guess it kind of worked because I started to like the guy. I'd never been given so many gifts growing up, especially because my parents barely were struggling to just feed me. So it was all kind of new to me. But then when I started actually trying to talk to the guy, I realized he was terribly boring. He had the personality of a wet paper bag, and that...
Yeah, that's how doctors are. You should realize that. Have you ever been to a doctor's appointment? I don't know about you, but my doctor isn't fun to talk to. Maybe you guys just have awesome doctors.
might be giving a wet paper bag too much credit. I asked him if he liked movies. He said not really. I asked if he listened to music. He said rarely. I asked if he liked reading books. He said he enjoyed the encyclopedia. The encyclopedia.
You know what? Encyclopedias are good information. And you know what? I can see why a man likes to read it. You know what? I like to read it. So shut your mouth. Shut up. Shut up. No.
Wikipedia? Okay, psycho. Now,
Who you calling psycho?
for sure he was boring for me, but I can only imagine he was a lot more boring for Mom. She was dating the guy after all. But it didn't matter. They got married. And so I guess he became my dad. Well, only kinda. I started calling him dad
That's called a stepdad, stupid.
to try to support them, but I didn't really feel that way. Also, Mom told me she probably should have said no when he asked her. But with the size of that diamond, I can see why she didn't. That thing looked like it could.
Jack, can I get the shovels just to start digging for gold?
What?
Can I get the shovels just to start digging for gold?
Sink the Titanic.
Joke clearly.
But for a bit there, Mom went gaga over Skinner. Because, like I said, buying people's admiration can be very effective. Fast forward a year, and
Yeah, especially with gold diggers like you guys. Like, holy crap, man.
I tell that Mom was bored of Skinner. But she'd signed a prenup, and splitting with him would mean that she wouldn't get to keep the life of luxury. Throughout all this, my real dad and Mom had actually maintained a pretty civil relationship, and sometimes she would hang out when I would visit my dad. Funny enough, Mom started talking a lot nicer to my, well, real dad. And I started
Call him your dad and then the other dad and then Skinner your stepdad. Like, I don't get this convoluting shit. Fuck. Maybe I'm just too tired, but fuck, man, this is...
to get this funny feeling like something was going on. A week or two later, I had to go home early from school because I'd forgotten some of my books and needed to rush back during lunch to get them. If I remember correctly, Skinner was away for the week for some investors conference or something. And when I got home, I saw my dad's car in the driveway. That was a little weird. When I walked through the front door and heard my mom and bio dad, getting along a little too well, if you can.
I love how she's trying to censor this, but this is far out the part of censorship. Like, just fucking say moment. Like, insert that Spider-Man clip or whatever it is. Like, it's one day that whatever. Like,
Catch my drift? That was super weird. It sounded like they were struggling to get their clothes on, and then my mom and bio dad ran out of my mom and Skinner's bedroom wearing, well, just enough clothes to keep them decent. I was in utter disbelief.
so a bra makes you decent. Good to know. Good to know.
I asked them, "What are you guys doing?" And I asked my mom if she was going to leave Skinner. They didn't really say anything. They just stood there looking at me. I guess they were in shock too. I grabbed my books and I awkwardly left the house. I really couldn't unsee what I'd just seen, and I didn't want to see any more. When I got home from school later that night, my mom told me that Skinner didn't need to know, and that it was just her and my dad having fun.
Listen, snitches get stitches, so keep your fucking mouth shut.
That I should keep it to myself. But honestly, I didn't like Skinner, and I didn't think it was right. So later when he got home from the conference, and my mom was out gardening, I told Skinner everything. He was in the kitchen, making breakfast, and he never even looked up from his cooking. He just said, "Oh," in a monotone voice. I asked him,
Are you sure he's not like a robot? Like, I don't think like anyone when they're like, "Hey man, I saw your wife cheating on you." Oh, okay.
"What are you going to do?" He said, "Nothing." I asked, "Aren't you pissed?" And he said, "No, it's fine. I've just got to finish making my eggs anyways." What a weirdo.
This man's eggs are more important than his marriage. This man's eggs. This must be some good ass eggs.
I grabbed my things and I left for school. I don't really know how things are going to change now with this situation. And honestly, I'm still a little bit sketched out by this whole thing. But I guess I learned that adults in your life don't always make the best role models. And sometimes...
Wow. No shit, Sherlock. Anyway, that seems like the end of the video. So I'm going to leave you guys off here. Have a wonderful night. And remember to stay only